The Glass House is rated M for a mature audience. It contains sexual references, adult themes and material that may offend some viewers.
Ahead in the Glass House, the election campaign starts to take its toll on the Prime Minister.
Hey, John, I got a joke for you. Knock, knock.
Hello? Hello?
You don't really get how this works, do you? Knock. Knock.
Hello? Hello?
Forever working with amateurs. Welcome to the Glass House, the program that asks the question, seeing that John Howard and Mark Latham both wear glasses, does that mean it's true that debating makes you go blind? More news than angry private school polo ponies this week, but the big story has to be the riveting edge-of-the-seat election campaign. Sunday night's great debate pulled in almost 1.5 million viewers, but was still beaten by Australian Idol. Well, it's hard to pull a crowd when you're busy pulling yourself. And not only did more people watch Idol, many who did watch the debate were very confused about why Marsha looked so much like Laurie Oakes. Latham thought he went so well, he's offered, this is true, to take on Costello and Howard in a tag team debate. Yeah, and let's face it, if they do want it to rate, a bit of wrestling wouldn't hurt. But they all need proper wrestling names. Simple Simon Crean, Mark the Pie Man Latham, and Squeezely Beasley. Facing off against Dawn of the Dead Ruddock, Holy Tony Abattoir, and Vanstone the Unfriendly Giant. In other news, a brand new $6 million national security awareness campaign will be launched in the wake of the Jakarta bombing. Woohoo! Another free fridge magnet! By the way, have you noticed how much rhyme there is in this election? Latham's given us ease the squeeze, Costello retaliated with hoax the folks, and now Bob Brown's come up with a sunny country or Howard's cloud. It could come down to who rhymes best. Natasha Stott-Despoyer's rooted. It's like an election campaign written by Dr. Seuss. I do not like the left or right. I do not like them in a fight. I do not like their House of Reps. I do not like them on the steps. I do not like their stand on tax. I do not like them stabbing backs. I do not like their policies on health or work or refugees. I do not like them in a boat. I think I'll try a donkey vote.
Fashion news, Willette Dinnigan. The CSIRO says clothes made from smart fabric that actually monitors your health could eventually replace visits to your GP. So your clothes will not only look smart, they'll actually be smart. Sometimes smarter than the person wearing them. The sensors in the fabric could even be powered by the sun's rays, so old people could jumpstart their electric scooters using just their strangely high trousers. And what happens when you do a wash? Do the clothes send data to the doctor saying you've reached 55 degrees, you're having some kind of seizure and you smell like a lemon? Anyway, all of this is a long way off. They've already got the smart fabric, but they can't turn it into smart clothes because it screams every time you try to put it through a sewing machine.
Go, guys!
I was jogging. Yeah, absolutely. Tell you what, I'm relieved this week, relieved.
Have you wet yourself?
I haven't wet myself, no. That would be inappropriate for a national TV show, Corinne. I am 33 years old. Anyway, I tell you why I am relieved is because I didn't get a letter from the Royal Melbourne Hospital this week telling me that I might have been infected by a deadly brain disease. Because over 1,000 people did, you know? Yes, they did. You know what the brain disease is called? Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease. Huh? I don't know who Creutzfeldt and Jacob are, but I'm sure their parents are very proud of them. Having their name attached to a deadly brain disease. And it is deadly disease. This disease is actually a relation to the mad cow disease.
Oh, right.
But it's not a good relation. It's not the good uncle who sneaks you the beer at Christmas time. It's the bad uncle who... Let's not go into what that uncle does, all right? It's the bad uncle. Seriously, though. And the reason over these 1,000 people may have been exposed to it is because a guy who had 2 brain operations last year and sadly died this year, in his autopsy they found out he had the disease, all right? And apparently the instruments they use in the operations over the last year, they haven't sterilised them properly. And people are unhappy. I wouldn't be happy. I'm not happy when I'm biting into me capricosa pizza and I taste a bit of marinara thinking Pizza Man hasn't bloody washed his knife enough. If you can get the analogy I've made right there. All right? They're not happy. But good luck to everyone out there and...
All right, let's get to it. Joining me, Corinne and David, to throw some stones in the Glass House tonight, coming soon to a theatre near you, and a production of 12 Angry Men, actor, director and well-known hornbag, Marcus Graham. And journo, broadcaster and stylish woman about town, Shelley Horton. Movers and shakers. First up, a lecturer at Griffith University who's doing a study into what she describes as Australia's dreadful standards of customer service. Dr. Deborah Grace has uncovered a host of stories that end with the retailer losing the customer forever. Bad service is easy to spot. You ask a shop assistant, have you got this in an 8? And they look you up and down and say, have you got that in an 8? You ask, does this make me look fat? And they answer, you are fat. Not only do they insist you take a bag, but they put it over your head. And the sign on the register says, we don't give refunds or a shit. Shelley, you don't mind a bit of a shop. Ever had a bad experience?
Yeah, I did. I used to be a reporter on George Sniggers Tonight, which, as you can imagine, means I was only ever recognised in public in nursing homes. Like, no one ever watched the show. And so I'd been working late at ABC and I popped over to the 7-Eleven and I walked in and the guy said to me, aren't you Shelley Horton from ABC TV?
Hello.
And I've gone, yes, I am. He's like, you wearing a security pass? I was shattered. Ow. Shattered.
Have you ever worked, though, in customer service? Have you?
Yeah, when I was at uni, I worked in a bar, you know, as you get buxom barmaid, and...
Yeah, 5 cougars, thanks.
Come on, Will.
Anyway...
Cougars are cheap, you're expensive.
Don't say anything else. It would be best if you didn't say anything else. No, you're not helping.
I'm not helping?
If you kept quiet, that would help. Please go on, Shelley.
I bet George Negus wished you were a reporter on George Negus tonight.
That's too much, Shelley. We've gone too far. I'm on your side here.
Back me up.
I'll back you right up.
Have you ever worked in it? Like, you worked in a bar?
Yes, I did. And a funny thing happened because I was serving the Queensland Deaf Society.
Right, yeah.
And they came in, and at the start of the night it was all fine, but what I noticed is, as you can imagine, as they're signing, the more alcohol they drank, they lost dexterity, so it was like they were slurring their fingers.
So by the end of the night, they were deaf and blind. What about you, Marcus? Have you ever worked in a...
Isn't that the story where the kid goes into a shop and he's with his mum and he
I'll
needs
tell
to
you,
go to the toilet.
This is true. There was an article in the story. This was bad customer service for the people at home. A kid had gone in the shop and there was a range of shoes.
Yes.
And the kid did, how can I put this nicely? It sounds like a Dr. Seuss sequel to Hop on Pop, but poo in shoe.
The number 2.
Yeah.
In the size 8.
You're holding him into a one-stop shop, really.
Seriously, I mean, it's a bargain bin. There's so much shit there.
At least then it's obvious why they've been marked down, isn't it?
Come on,
What's wrong with that?
Yeah, these are used.
The kid did that in the thing, and the shop assistants were so nice that the mother said she'd definitely come back to that store.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah. Well, she loves their brown spot specials.
That's a nice story. So I used to go to a beauty salon, and so did 2 of my girlfriends. And the only way I know that is because the staff used to tell me that they went there and what they had done.
Like, what do you mean, what they had done?
Like what kind of bikini line waxing they had done, where they got hair removed from, and that kind of thing. And
Where-
they told
No.
everyone.
Where
How
Really?
far the bikini
So-
line went down.
Yeah, what?
did they
yeah.
have?
So you know-
photos or?
Yeah. So you actually know that Rover's had a backsack and crack?
It wasn't right. The sad thing is, I don't think Rove's got pubic hair.
Has it?
I don't think so. I've got more chest hair than
Our next movers and shakers are researchers from Pennsylvania State University who have found that growing up in an untidy home can mess up a child's mind. The researchers studied 8,000 3- and 4-year-old twins and discovered that many of them came from households that were so untidy they didn't even know they had a twin. From the data, they were able to establish what they call the household chaos theory, also known as the Mr. Sheen hypothesis. A child is only as bright as the dining room table. Dave, does mess with your head?
I've always lived messy, like, my whole life, yeah. I mean, my mother had a crack at it, but she gave up after a while. I've been very messy.
what kind of messy? Is this like clothes and stuff everywhere, or is it like, you know, 6-month-old pizza under the
Yeah,
bed?
it's KFC boxes in the lounge room for over 3 months, basically. It's living in houses where guys would drink stubbies, then smash them against the wall, and then I would have to walk around for the rest of the week bleeding because I had glass in my foot.
So you lived in one of those houses that Naomi Robson could have turned up to and gone, somebody lives here.
My room was called The Cave. It was etched into, there was no windows, and every night I'd lie on my bed and the roof would slowly crumble onto my mattress. And I would have to clean it, I would just turn it over every day.
Were you messy when you were young, or is it just as you got older you got messier?
No,
You should have seen his mum's womb. Rubbish everywhere.
my mother was clean, but I was reasonably messy. Yeah, I didn't like to.
Because I'm really messy, but my brother's really, really clean, and we had to share a bedroom when I was growing up. And so we did.
Odd couple.
We had the whole masking tape down the middle.
Oh, really?
The backing track. Yeah, the masking tape. And his side was like anally perfect with Matchbox cars all lined up and everything, and mine was just like a brothel. But because of that,
There was all these ladies there just going, you lie?
messy, okay?
What about you, Marcus? Are you a messy person?
I'm into organised mess, I think.
What do you
Works
mean?
for me.
What's that?
Well, just a mess where you know everything is.
So do you organise? I'm a big fan of doing this, organising
Not
my
you
mess
just
into
take everything off
piles.
and throw it on the floor and you go back to it the next
That's
day.
not hard though, because everything's on the floor.
Yeah,
You know where it is.
I do that because I
Organised
live
me.
on my own. I can get changed in whatever room in the house I like. So there's just clothes everywhere. And
Did Marcus Graham just turn into a stalker?
Well, once we had a motorbike that got let loose in the kitchen. So we had a party after our footy team played in the grand final, and there was 4 of us living in the house. And I tell you, the guy who was worried about the party, who was worried that things were going to go on, was the guy on the motorbike in the kitchen doing burnouts. And that house.
How did you explain that?
Oh, I just said we're moving the fridge. swear to God, that was what we said.
Our favourite movement shaker this week is a sociologist from Flinders University who thinks the increasing levels of depression in society may be linked to our obsession with celebrities. Dr. Jason Pudsey believes depression comes from unrealistic fantasies of fame, which no one can really live up to. But it's true. No matter how much you waste on plastic surgery, no matter how much school you skip, no matter how much glue you sniff, you'll never be as dumb as Jessica Simpson. But while it's true celebrities embody the public's aspirations, does turning on the telly and thinking, Danny Minogue again, mean we need more things to aspire to, or just less Minogues? Marcus, we aspire to being you. Do celebrities get a hard time?
Oh, that's a curly one. Do they get a hard time?
Yep.
Of course they get a hard time. I don't know if anyone really wants to be on the cover of Woman's Day fat with a facelift, do they? I mean...
Well, they got the facelift.
Hey.
Yeah,
and
some people do.
They wanted the fame in the first place and they knew what went with it.
Well...
I love celebrities and I love their cellulite.
Right.
I love everything about them.
Do
I think
you?
they're just more interesting than normal people.
They're not.
They just
They
want,
are.
the tabloids just want you to think that, so you'll buy the magazine, but it's actually not much going on
I
at
would
all.
love to be on the cover of Woman's Day if they're out there. Just tell me what I have to do, all right?
You have to do something that ends in the word nightmare or hell, you know.
I'm
like
up for
my
it.
zipper
Strap me in and I'll
nightmare.
go for the ride.
But don't you
Dave
think...
Hughes, my motorbike kitchen hell.
Yes, that kind of thing. That'll get you on the cover.
Did you always want to be a celeb, though? Did you know, like... when
Oh,
you were...
I don't think I ever wanted to be a celebrity.
What did you want to do?
I wanted to be an actor.
Yeah. But do you, like, with most actors, if you are going to be a well-known actor,
Right.
celebrity is going to be part of the
Comes
journey.
with it, and you put yourself out there, yeah.
What's the worst thing you've
But-
had to do in the name of celebrity?
Oh, look, I mean, sometimes you're just in a position where you don't want that information out there. Like, I mean, I have been completely heartbroken, for example, like just uncontrollably crying for weeks on end.
Sure.
And it's been... I like the way you came in with the support, mate. You're there for me.
Okay, who broke your heart? Or we shouldn't talk about it now.
What it does is it makes it public knowledge. So everyone feels like they have... It cheapens what you're going through.
Yeah.
So you're just a human being going through emotions, and if suddenly that's blown out publicly, then
And
you kind of got
magnified.
nowhere to hide.
But is it a good way to
people
advertise that you're single again?
I'd say so.
There was an upside, Mark.
Because you're going to... Marcus Graham's relationship heartbreak, and you could just be out at a nightclub and see a pretty girl and just put the magazine down. And they'd be like...
Oh, you know...
Well, it was funny, but it's just... At some point, it costs you personally, I suppose. But then the other side of it is when they're kind of raving about you, then that costs you personally too, because, you know, your ego goes insane. So.
Well, Shelley, you said you love the celebrities. You've had to interview a lot of celebrities over the years. I don't want to know who your favourite was. I want to know, firstly, who the one you just hated the most was. Is there a celebrity who just disappointed you?
I was incredibly disappointed by 007 Pierce Brosnan.
Really? Why?
Yeah, I really wanted him to be fabulous, and he was not only really sleazy and really rude.
But isn't that... No, that's not all right. Yep. Shh.
It gets worse. He smelt like wet dog.
You smell like a wet dog.
Dog. Wet dog.
You know those bachelors that have like don't wash their clothes and just put wet clothes in the basket? That funny smell.
Musky dog.
Yeah.
But he was a dog who was obviously travelling, so he's a travelling dog. You've got to give him some credit. He's in hotel rooms.
The littlest
could send it
hobo
out.
was a travelling dog.
Paris Hilton's a travelling dog.
Have you interviewed Paris Hilton?
Have you done
Yes.
Oh, tell me she's as wonderful as she appears.
She's stupid.
She's stupid.
Fancy.
Yeah, you wouldn't
I
believe
seriously
it.
think there is something under there. I think that's a facade and that she's really
No, and she was
bright.
really hard to interview. And what she did is she said, no, I don't want anyone filming me when I'm smoking a cigarette. It's a wrong message for the kids.
What?
Like doing that video wasn't the wrong message.
Well, who do you like? Who that you like?
Well, I'm passionately in love with Tom Cruise, and that
Really?
Really?
He's like 5'2".
No,
and got...
he's taller than me. I'm
Oh, really?
5'5". He'd be at least 5'6".
Yeah,
He seriously makes the hairs on the back of my neck
Really?
stand
So I
up. He
reckon
was
there's
just so charismatic.
Something a little bit smarmy about him.
So you don't think definitely
no,
not gay
no.
or definitely not gay?
Oh, God.
No, I mean, it's a fair question to ask.
I'd like to say I've got proof, but no.
Well, if you wore that dress and he looked you in the eye...
Did you wear that dress? No. That is a good dress, by the way.
Later in the glass house, tragedy as E.T. is arrested for drunk driving. As his leadership ambitions disappear, Peter Costello considers a new career with McDonald's.
Would you like anything else?
And in an embarrassing backflip, Mark Latham admits he never actually had pancreatitis. He was grounded.
And I'm going to be in a huge amount of strife from my mum.
Time for another entry in our competition to create a new segment for the Glass House. This week, the brilliant mind who thought it up is... Every expense spared. Crombo's from Ballarat and describes himself as tall, tanned, rugged, sporting an enviable head of hair and a pathological liar. He and his wife Catherine recently became parents of twin girls, Hannah and Amelia. Glenn considers his part in the creation to be the only good thing he's ever done. To date, nobody has disagreed with him. But his idea is devilishly clever. Here's the background. In Stuttgart, a man caught having sex with a blow-up doll in a busy shopping arcade had to be physically separated from his rubber lover before police were able to take him away. Corinne, how would you bullshit your way out of this one?
I would say there was a leak and this is the only way I could think of plugging it up.
But if there was a leak, she'd also be going down on it.
Shelley, Horton. In she comes. 1, 2, 3, punch. Good night.
Marcus Graham, how would you bullshit your way out of this one?
I'd say it's all right, we're in love.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah,
that's
that's
romantic.
nice.
I think so, yeah.
Marcus, have you ever had sex with a blow-up doll?
Oh, no.
Actually, it's one of the few things I haven't had sex with. But there's still time.
I can see the next Women's Day headline.
Shelley Horton, how would you bullshit your way out of this one?
I'd say, what rubber doll? I thought it was Paris Hilton.
Dave Hughes, how would you bullshit your way out of this one?
Right, I would say that I was walking along the shopping arcade and I saw what I thought was a woman on the ground unconscious. I started to give her mouth to mouth. One thing led to another. And what can I say, you know? And, you know, she got attached.
I bet the cops regretted saying blow into this bag. We're halfway through the election campaign. Funny feels like longer. Share your insights, political savants.
I did a great story for a Mondo Thingo just this week, which was a cabbie who keeps like a web diary, a blog, and he interviews everyone that gets into his cab and asks them about the election and all sorts of things.
Yeah.
And I've just gone, what a great way, because cabbies always have opinions.
Yeah.
And I'd probably rather listen to a cabbie tell me about the election than actually
So he
listen to the whole
records
thing.
what people have said to him.
Yeah.
So...
Where's it going, according to the cabbie?
It's saying that Howard's probably going to sneak back in.
Well, of course a cab driver's going to say that Howard's going to win, though, because
Why?
Latham will
No,
punch
he
the
won't.
shit out of him.
No, he was saying that he really wants Latham to win, but basically what people are saying is they think that Latham needs to learn to lose one, so he wants it more.
I read like a football player.
Yeah, no, this is not sport. It's not sport. It's who's running the country. And that kind of thing is a ridiculous thing to say. Latham needs to lose one so he knows what it's like to lose. No, you should be voting for the kind of government you want to have in. That's like saying, I'll lodge a protest vote.
It's so hard when there's fear in the air. How does anyone do anything?
My favourite moment, I got to say, God bless the Prime Minister. Did you see this on the news, John? How it's gone up to this woman, he's kissing the baby. He's looked at the woman and he's gone, oh, lovely kid, and another one on the way. And she just went, no.
That's a true story.
That's a true story.
Well,
she's obviously spent the baby bonus on pies.
What about the fear thing over it? We're still not sure whether it was hostages taken in Iraq. What amused me is they said, oh, we will not negotiate with terrorists, and what have they just sent over? Some negotiators. Who are they going to negotiate with? Are they going to what? We need a third party involved, do we? Some go-between, so we don't have to negotiate with the terrorists.
Yeah, there's going to be Alexander Downer, negotiators and terrorists, and Alexander Downer going, can you tell the terrorists that I said...
What do you reckon, Marcus? Are you following the election campaign? Does it interest you?
Well, I don't know. Look, it used to be in Australia, after a couple of years, you just vote the other guys in to keep it even.
Yes.
You know, keep them honest.
Yeah.
But we seem to have lost that wonderfully apathetic approach to things, and I miss it terribly. You know?
What would your policy be? If you had one policy, what Marcus Graham running for Prime Minister, and your one campaign slogan is?
We are Australia.
Yeah.
That's shit. I'm going to give you a second go at this, Marcus. Marcus Graham, you're running for Prime Minister. You have one campaign slogan. What is?
Well, we are Australia.
You know what I like about Marcus Graham's policies? They're consistent.
Yes, it's time to award the Coveted Glasshouse Trophy, which this week is called... And the winners of the prawn on the Barbie. It's a bloody prawn, OK? Is a team of British scientists and anthropologists who believe that the first humans to reach the United States were actually early Australians. If this is true, think how many more gold medals we can claim to have won at the Olympics. The scientists say, this is true, DNA from a 12,000-year-old skull will prove their claim. This is much more believable than the last theory, that much of the world was populated by young Australians left stranded after singing in early Qantas commercials. They were singing your policy. So the trophy goes to the boffins claiming America in the name of all that is true, bloody blue. Just think, if we'd stayed there, we'd now have Bush dictating all our policies. Well, that's the way it is for Friday, September the 17th. Thank you very much, Shelley.
Thank you.
Thank you, Marcus. We are Australian. abc.net.au/glasshouse. It is, as they say, the bomb. And let's take a look at tomorrow's headlines. The West Australian reports private school funding slashed. Teacher-student dates must now go Dutch. The Age has Neighbours lesbian character controversy, but not as much as 1987 Madge Mrs Manglepash. The Daily Telly says 2 Australians kidnapped in Iraq. Unfortunately, not Kyle and Jackie O. And in the Illawarra Mercury, Worm says Latham won, but rodents prefer Howard. Good night!
Hi, this is Andrew Denton. Monday on Enough Rope, an unusual double act. Pauline Hanson, yes, she's going to run for the Queensland Senate again. Find out has she changed and what she plans to do. Plus Dave Hughes, one of Australia's funniest men. That's Enough Rope, Monday night, 9:30. See you then.